The Cursed Tunnel is a town legends. In a remote village shrouded in mystery, whispers of dark legends filled the air. The most notorious tale was that of the Cursed Tunnel, a place said to be haunted by tormented souls. Mothers warned their children to stay away, but curiosity always seemed to prevail. People recounted chilling stories of anguished cries and strange lights flickering in the depths of the tunnel. Emily, the rebellious young woman, found herself drawn to these legends. Her friend Lucas, more cautious and rational, constantly tried to dissuade her from such dangerous thoughts. But after hearing a new, terrifying story about the tunnel from an elder in the village, Emily insisted they explore it together. "Let's go to the tunnel," she proposed, marking the beginning of a nightmarish journey. Emily and Lucas made their way to the old mansion of Dr. Jenny, a reclusive scholar known for her studies in folklore and the supernatural. The mansion was filled with ancient books and eerie artifacts. When they asked about the tunnel, Jenny's expression shifted to one of grave concern. "It's not just a tunnel. It's a gateway to another realm. Don't go there." Dr. Jenny began to recount tales of the spirits dwelling within the tunnel, warning that many who entered never returned. "It's a haunted place. Stay away from it." But Emily, driven by an insatiable desire for the truth, refused to heed the warning. Lucas, despite his fears, felt powerless to stop her. At midnight, Emily and Lucas stood at the mouth of the tunnel. The moon hung low, casting an eerie glow, as if nature itself was trying to warn them. "Are you sure you want to do this?" Lucas asked, anxiety creeping into his voice. "We have to satisfy our curiosity." "Lucas!" Emily replied defiantly, and together they stepped into the darkness. The tunnel door slammed shut behind them, plunging them into utter darkness. Lucas felt panic rising as unsettling sounds echoed around them. Whispers, cries, and sobbing surrounded them, the tunnel seemingly alive with anguish. It felt as though they were intruding on a realm of suffering. As they moved deeper, ghostly figures began to materialize in the gloom. Their forms were grotesque, eyes filled with rage and sorrow. "What do you want?" Emily shouted, but the apparitions remained silent, closing in on them with an air of malevolence. Panic seized Lucas, and he bolted down the tunnel, but Emily hesitated, frozen in fear. "Emily, come on!" he yelled, desperation in his voice. However, the spirits grew more numerous, their chilling laughter reverberating through the tunnel, threatening to ensnare them both. Just when hope seemed lost, Emily spotted a faint light at the end of the tunnel. "There!" she screamed, and they rushed toward it. Yet every step felt like wading through treacle, the darkness clawing at them and the whispers warning them to turn back. As they reached the light, they felt a sudden rush of air, but Lucas vanished without a trace. "Lucas!" Emily screamed, her heart racing as despair washed over her. The tunnel wasn't merely a test. It was a trap for the unwary. Emily stumbled back to Dr. Jenny's mansion, engulfed in terror. "I came back alone," she cried, her eyes wide with fear. Jenny looked at her with concern and urgency. "What happened?" Emily recounted the horrors of the tunnel, how Lucas had disappeared. Dr. Jenny began to unravel the dark secrets of the tunnel. It's a place that tests the soul and devours the weak. Memories of their time in the tunnel flooded back, and Emily feared she might never see Lucas again. On the following night, Emily resolved to return to the tunnel, determined to find her friend. Fear coursed through her veins, but she knew she had to confront the truth. "I won't leave you there, Lucas," she whispered, the weight of her decision heavy on her heart. As Emily re-entered the tunnel, the familiar voices echoed around her. "Emily, I'm here." Lucas's voice, faint and desperate, reverberated in her ears. The fear threatened to overwhelm her, but she pushed forward, driven by the sound of his cries. The spirits reappeared, their fury palpable. "Leave! Leave!" they shrieked. "You cannot escape!" Emily felt terror gripping her, but she steeled herself, determined to confront whatever lay ahead. A shadowy figure emerged, its voice a haunting whisper. "You must face your fears to reclaim your friend." Emily's heart raced. She had to confront the darkness that lurked within her. Emily recalled every moment of her fear, from loneliness to failure. The terror clawed at her, but she knew she had to press on. "I won't give up," she shouted defiantly into the void, but the darkness swallowed her words. Despite her bravery, the spirits began to close in again, their forms shifting and writhing. "Where are you, Lucas?" she cried out, the laughter of the spirits echoing mockingly. The tunnel felt like it was consuming her hopes. She emerged from the tunnel, feeling defeated. There was no sign of Lucas. "I failed," she sobbed, racing back to the mansion, panic gripping her heart. She felt as if everything had come to an end. Upon returning to Jenny, Emily was in tears. "I lost him. I couldn't save him," she lamented. Jenny looked at her with a somber expression. "There may still be hope, but you must confront the tunnel one last time." On the following night, Emily returned to the cursed tunnel, knowing this time it would be even more terrifying. She understood that she had to face her deepest fears. "I won't leave you behind, Lucas," she declared, determined to find him. As she stepped inside, she began to hear familiar sounds. "Emily, Emily." The echoes filled her mind, but the closer she got, the fainter the voices became. "No!" she screamed, pushing forward. The spirits reassembled, their fury evident. "Leave, leave," they cried out. "You cannot escape." Emily felt the suffocating grip of fear, yet she pressed on, determined to discover what had happened. A spectral figure appeared again, commanding her to confront her true fears. "You must go deeper to find him." Emily hesitated, the darkness threatening to swallow her whole. As she faced the shadows, she felt the weight of despair closing in. "I can't give up," she yelled, but the shadows seemed to absorb her strength, leaving her feeling weaker. Time seemed to distort within the tunnel. Reality warped and twisted. Visions of Lucas flickered before her eyes, but he remained just out of reach. "Where are you?" she cried in anguish. As she stumbled through the tunnel, she felt the weight of the spirits closing in. Their whispers turned to screams, filling her with dread. "You will never leave," they chanted, and she felt the cold tendrils of fear wrapping around her. Suddenly, she was thrust into a vision of the past. Memories of Lucas laughing, their adventures together. "I won't forget you," she shouted, but the darkness laughed back, echoing her fears. In a moment of clarity, she realized the truth. The tunnel was a reflection of her own fears and regrets. She had to confront them, or risk losing herself forever. "I choose to remember," she screamed, and the tunnel shook violently. As the dust settled, Emily found herself back at the entrance of the tunnel. Lucas was nowhere to be seen. Whispers filled the air, and the villagers would later speak of the mysterious girl who vanished into the cursed tunnel, her fate entwined with the spirits that dwelled within. The legend would continue, warning future generations, "Do not venture into the tunnel." But who would heed the warning? The mystery remained, echoing through the village, waiting for the next curious soul to unlock its dark secrets.